The success of cryptos has the central banks and the governments of the world scared, and now they're looking to replace cryptos with centralized currencies, which are pure evil. If you take a closer look at the implications of all these central bank issues, digital currencies. Bitcoin was created more than a decade ago to solve the problem of double spending and to create a blockchain. Bitcoin ended up sparking a financial revolution. We have now seen central banks worldwide sit back and observe the global adoption of a decentralized digital currency. This clearly removes the central banker's ability to control the money supply. Central banks have always had a monopoly on the production and distribution of money. They're seeing this new technology and trying to figure out how they can use the concept of blockchain to move forward and propagate their control on us. Digital currencies are being discussed, studied, and even piloted in various locations around the world. Bankers want to be able to see tokenized money. There is no change in the fiat currency, the fiscal policy. It's simply a technological upgrade to the same money, and it would give central bankers control over your finance. There's a lot to unpack here. Digital money could be programmed to ensure that it is only spent on necessities or goods deemed by the employer or government to be sensible at home. I'll take it once more. With the new digital currencies governments are rolling out, you can be controlled and the government will stipulate what you can buy. In England, the Bank of England tells the minister to intervene in a digital currency program. They warned of the possibility of the issuer of these digital currencies, which is all of our central banks control how citizens spend currency. Now, governments can only get records of what you spend your money on, but they do have control over how you spend it. But now, with this new technology advancement, the currency can be programmed to discriminate against certain people for reasons that the big guns in the government come up with. So if the government doesn't like you or due to some programming error in the system, you may as well starve or be locked out of your own money, which you worked hard for. That is simply insane. Aren't we supposed to be free to do what we want with our own money, even if it causes us harm? The government should be able to respect our rights, but history has taught us that governments will always abuse powers. And my friends, this new rise of central bank centralized digital currency will be the root of massive evil worldwide. Maybe they think you have a gambling problem. You shouldn't be able to transact at a lottery or spend at the casino. This is pure control. The best way to control people to submission is to have power over their money, and that is exactly what the central banks are seeking right now. This kind of greater centralization increases the government's ability to cut people off from their livelihoods, which is even more dangerous than the cashless society. Government victims are completely deprived of their livelihoods, making it more difficult to receive assistance. Of course, the anonymity of our expenditures is always compromised because when we pay with credit card, the bank knows where and how much we have spent with the government. Banks, on the other hand, can provide this information. This is a total dominance over your financial life. You're not free unless you have the ability to transact. Canada is currently going through a rough patch where they're being subjected to this form of control. Although it may appear to be an isolated extreme in Canada and a few other countries, it is a trend that modern governments and central bankers want to exchange your freedom for. Surveillance is insufficient for their power. They want to control where you can spend your money, which is ultimately what we're discussing with the central bank, digital currencies. This is one of the history's most heinous violation of human rights. This would allow central bankers and their government cronies to see how much money you have in your account, who you transact with, and how much you spend on goods and services when and where, and also to censor your financial life. We do not want a social credit system, financial censorship, personalized inflation, or money with an expiration date. These ideas are being floated around these central bank digital currencies. Bitcoin is a decentralized digital system. nobody in the world controls it. Nobody can change the rules without agreement of the majority of folks. These currencies are currently being discussed in several countries, so this is the time to raise awareness. They're propagating a safer way to create a cashless economy that will usher us into the future economy, but that is a hoax. CBDCs are a threat to many of the human rights we have fought for, and once the gate has been opened, we cannot prevent the flood from coming in. They are selling it as a replacement for cryptos like Bitcoin, but these currencies are much different from cryptocurrencies. Cryptos are decentralized and not controlled by a single party. No one can control or even hack Bitcoins in the next billion years. But with a click of a button, the government can control these CBDCs because they own them, control them, and bring us to our knees. As a result, the central bank and digital currencies attempt to emulate some of the technology in a more centralized manner. We must have this discussion now before it's too late. Central banks and digital currencies are being propagated and presented. They're being promoted in a positive light, but there's a lot of negative baggage attached to it. And now is the time to have that discussion.